it's a commonly asked question as far as what's it like coming from, the success of Australia and I remember we played in Germany one time. We played to like two people, and one of them was our manager.
I think it's all refreshing, Sure, we might play to 45,000 people in a football stadium in Australia. It's not as much as a challenge as coming to California or Germany or Holland and playing to 100 people that have searched out your music out of everything else in the world, and they're there at your show. They've paid their $8 to come and see this unknown band. It's a lot harder to win those people over than 45,000.
When you're preaching to the converted, it kind of becomes easy. And it was good to come over here and kind of start again. It wasn't about going out there and putting on the show that people expect to see. It was like, these people overseas have no idea who we are and they don't know what to expect. So it really kind of came back to our playing and our songs again. And, when we walk out on stage, we're like, okay, we have an image, we have instruments, and we have songs. And these are the three things we have to convert these people into liking us.
You take it for granted after a while, so I think it's very valuable for bands to get back to, how they started. And of course it would be great to, be playing to 10,000 people all over the world, but
I don't know if we've kind of been like put into a circle, inside a circle of bands or anything, because we've always just kind of been the band that just kind of sits on the wing and moves along. We're pretty aware of what's going on all the time. As an original band, we've never kind of gone, we want to kind of sound like that band, or we want to kind of sound like one of those bands. We want to, it's not like we could put ourselves into metal or punk or funk or whatever. It's like, if you're a rockabilly band, you gotta be able to get along with the ska scene, rockabilly scene, skinhead scene, punk scene, and that. Just because by themselves they don't really constitute enough people to make a full strong scene, And I think that's a good thing because it's just made bands more diverse and more kind of aware of what else is going on rather than one particular style or whatever. So we've always just kind of travelled along our own little thing, beside all the other styles or whatever. So it's not like we can really put ourselves into one particular circle.
as far as like where we sort of fit in the timeline of the rock and roll thing, I mean, we kind of borrow from lots of different sort of genres, obviously, but there's definitely a kind of a passion thing there when we play live, and a kind of energy that I think comes from the 50s. Originally the 50s kind of influenced, people like Elvis and Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis, guys that were just kind of singing from their heart, that were, pretty threatening in their day. I mean, we're nowhere near as threatening as what those guys were. But that's the whole thing about punk rock too that I loved, was I just felt the same kind of energy coming off it, and and then I found out that a lot of those guys were influenced by that too. So we've definitely got that side of it, but also I think we've got a real kind of honesty thing with our lyrics and our music, that we don't really want to come across as anything that we're not. And I mean, rock and roll is supposed to be kind of larger than life, but we try and keep it kind of natural. But I mean, we really love the whole sort of dress up thing with rock and roll. It's a chance to kind of be something, as much as we like to keep it natural, it's a chance to be something that you're not. And I think getting up on stage, it's a bit of a chance to kind of show off, and it's a release for us as much as it is for the audience. And again, I think that just goes back to the kind of the 50s thing and the punk thing, which was all about just sort of letting your hair down and escaping.
I think that, we run the fine line between, if you just want to get drunk and jump up and down, we can do that for you. If you want to come along and walk out there feeling good that, you've learnt something by actually delving into the lyrics about what's going on in Australian political, standings, or the world as we see it from Australia, that's great too, We walk that fine line. We don't try and sit here and, so that we're, you're going to leave going, oh my God, that's like, life-changing. I don't know if we're that yet, but I just think we're just a really totally honest three guys playing hopefully good rock and roll, and if that's what people get out of it, I'm ecstatic.